I'm Sheryl Plouffe. We'll get into your forecast details in just a moment, but first we want to look back with a purpose, back to November of 2014 as our team predicted what would be in store for the winter ahead. Have a look. That's exactly what happened. Record snowfall in eastern Canada as a result. Well, guess what? Our spring outlook is going to come out tomorrow. We'll have analysis from our experts and meteorologists about the breakdown region by region. So in the GTA, we'll tell you exactly what we think is going to happen for the spring ahead. So right now, we're still dealing with winter conditions. And in the case of Kevin Yard, he's exploring some extreme sport on Lake Ontario. Yeah, you should be, right. Thanks so much, Kevin. Let's get a forecast now for you because we've got some active weather. And once that snow begins, it starts to move into southern Ontario through the morning of Tuesday. It will only increase by the afternoon period, and that's when we're going to be seeing a shot of snow and then followed on Tuesday evening by some mixing. So we want to break it down for you by types because it's easier to show you with these types of maps. I'm Sheryl Plouffe. We're going to get you caught up with your weather forecast. We have some active weather on the way for Tuesday. Could be quite a bit of a mess, actually. But let's first start with our must-see video coming in over Sydney, Australia. Well, in terms of our weather, we have not extreme thunderstorms, but we do have some snowfall on the way. First, though, let's check in with Mike Arsenault as he's made his way down to southwestern Ontario. And our spring outlook is being released tomorrow as well, Mike. But let's take a look at what's happening with our short-term forecast. And it will be in the form of snow. Pretty significant system that's headed our way. In fact, it's really a combination of two different low-pressure systems, one from the prairies and one from the south. They're kind of coming together here. Tuesday's a bit of a mess. Now, driving in, if you leave really early in the morning, heading into Toronto, down toward Hamilton, you might be okay, just some light snow, but then it really gets going through the afternoon and through the evening. The evening drive tomorrow will be, we expect, quite a bit of a mess. So the precipitation forecast in types, we're talking snowfall, and then the mixing down to where Mike was. And then we could briefly be changing over to straight rain, a cold rain in the south and west. But notice how that mixing line moves up over Toronto and Hamilton through the evening period. Still snowing in Ottawa and Montreal and northern Ontario. And then we get that line to come up. So down into the Niagara area at Hamilton, that would probably be the drawing that line. And then north of that, very messy conditions here on the 401 for pre-dawn of Wednesday. 5 to 10 centimeters of snow from the low pressure system, 2 to 5 as you head further to the southwest. Well, February ended up being the coldest February on record for Toronto. And take a look at this. So what it shows us is that we have seen the coldest February on record, and that's pretty significant. But here's the good news. We're releasing our spring outlook tomorrow. But Tuesday at 6 a.m., we'll release it. And then later that night, 9 p.m., that's when we'll analyze it region by region and give you the specifics on our thinking and methodology around putting that together for you. Let's turn it over to Kevin Yard. He's out on Lake Ontario having fun out in the cold.
And, of course, you need the winds to be at least.
All right, thanks so much for that, Kevin. And we are dealing with some snowfall on the way. First, though, I want to show you some must-see video from PEI. Just add some fun to it all. We've got some snow on the way across southern Ontario. That's going to cause some problems on Tuesday. And likely the snowfall will begin tomorrow morning. And then the worst of it is to come through the afternoon in terms of snowfall, so it'll start to accumulate. Then we may see some mixing in by evening. So we've broken this down into types. Tuesday afternoon snowing. Now, getting ready for the drive home, it's going to be possibly mixing in with some freezing rain. Not favorable conditions for travel. Briefly, it could change over to straight rain down toward Hamilton and St. Catharines. Obviously, it's raining down toward Buffalo, but there's that mixing line. And then north of the Kawarthas, we're still in the snowfall. Ottawa and Montreal seeing snow from this as well, to the tune of 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Slightly higher elevations, we'll be seeing slightly higher totals, but back towards southwestern Ontario. In fact, it's a combination of really two low pressure systems coming together, and then it all moves off into Atlantic Canada. Behind it, though, we'll see some cold temperatures for the rest of the week. So it looks like we have some messy weather on the way for Tuesday, and that could cause problems on the roads. More details on that in a moment. Kevin Yard is outside dealing with the conditions today, which remain cold and will stay that way throughout the rest of the week. Kevin? Thank you so much, Kevin. And the snowfall will start tomorrow morning, but southwestern Ontario might not see as much accumulation only because there's potential for mixing. And that's where we find Mike near Ingersoll. True enough, Mike, it could be a bit of a problem, no question. And you know what? The month of February is gone. It's in the record books in more ways than one. Just to finish my thought, tomorrow at 9 p.m., then we'll have analysis of the spring outlook. Just wanted to mention that for you for those who want more detail. Okay, active weather. Yes, we have some. It's on the way. Tuesday morning, snowfall will start. The drive in likely not to be as much of a problem as the drive home. That's the big concern because the snow will really get going from noon till 3. The accumulation will begin, and then we will see that mixing line moving up over us. Last week we were talking about what would be the perfect scenario with this impending storm system, and frankly it would have been better if we could have seen only snow from this. Because of the conditions of being so cold at the surface, but it hasn't materialized that way. So some problematic driving here, possibly even a changeover on the QEW down to some rainfall here, Hamilton and south towards St. Catharines. So we're going to have a lot of wet weather, messy weather, winter conditions, and you'll have to drive accordingly and give yourself extra time. Really a combination of 2 low pressure systems coming in, and then it gets really cold and staying that way through the end of the week. I don't know about you, but I'm glad February's over. It's the shortest month, but somehow it felt like the longest month ever. Why is that? Well, likely it's because it ended up being the coldest February on record. Can you believe it? On our streak, if you will, of consecutive days of not topping 0, this week might continue to keep that trend going because the temperatures are not expected to warm up anytime soon. But it's never too soon to think about spring and have analysis from our experts, from our meteorologists, talking about how it is that they came up with that particular spring outlook region by region and really break it down for us. What is the science behind it all? So you'll want to tune in for that tomorrow. This is our must-see video. It was our camera operator in Calgary was out there shooting pictures. A pretty incredible sight to see, and you can see the full gallery online at theweathernetwork.com if you want to see those pictures and share them with friends and family, that sort of thing. We've got some snowfall on the way starting tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, and then we will have the snow picking up in intensity throughout the afternoon. By the evening, though, this freezing rain line will move up into the GTA and down into Hamilton, so not a great thing to see with snowfall and then on top of that freezing rain. So the drive home likely to be problematic, might even briefly change over to rain in Hamilton, St. Catharines, but it's cold rain and that mixing line is still up over the GTA. So it will be messy travel expected tomorrow. 5 to 10 centimeters of snow expected for the GTA and lesser amounts to the southwest.